So looking at natural resources, the Natural Resources Commission in the city gets into things that, to my way of thinking, are not natural resources. But so the big controversy over the last couple of years has been whether or not to ban fire. You know, people burning their fireplace.
Right.
And the more recent issue is about banning or putting some kind of a rate on plastic bags.
Yeah.
So talk about the Natural Resources Commission in general, what you think its charge should be.
I think, in general, I think the work they're doing is valuable. I think Davis is the community that can kind of walk and chew gum at the same time. I think we can be, you know, have good schools, we can be business friendly, we can be a nice place for, you know, kids to grow up and live and all those sorts of things. And we can have some environmental concerns, and we can be more on the forefront of environmental issues. You know, we don't need to be bringing up the rear. Specifically to the plastic bag ban, opposed to that. Currently there's a state law which does not permit stores to charge for plastic bags. Sort of an interesting thing. And so what the National Resource Committee has talked about was banning plastic bags and charging for paper bags. Well, what's interesting is the law that bans plastic bags expires in January. So I'm
Wait, the law that bans plastic bag charges?
Yeah, sorry.
No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm here for. That's
yes.
my only job.
And so I'm not a big believer in sort of outright bans. I mean, there are very valid reasons why someone would prefer plastic to paper. And environmentally speaking, they both have some there's some drawbacks to both of them. So in January, we have the ability to charge for plastic and also paper. And so that would be my preferred course. I mean, the proposal that's coming forward for the city is they want to ban plastic and charge for paper. I think it's better just to say, look, if you want a disposable bag, be it paper or plastic, we'll charge you a nickel or a dime. You get to choose. You know, we don't need to micromanage, you know, your specific shopping habits.
What about having a new state law as opposed to a new city law?
A state law which would mandate charging people for plastic bags or
This is
paper
about
bags.
interviewing a candidate about your philosophy of life.
I would be fine with that. I think it's nice to get away from our kind of disposable society, and it's not an onerous charge. You know, if we charge somebody a nickel or a dime for a paper bag or plastic bag, it's not the end of the world. But it gets people to be a little more thoughtful and like, oh, okay, maybe I will bring my own bag. It's kind of like the container California or CRV tax. You know, we all pay 2.5 cents or something per can or plastic, you know, container that we buy from the store. At the time, it was very controversial, but you know, now you just sort of pay it. It's no big deal. But it makes you reflect upon the fact that, you know, these things are something that can be returned and recycled. And you know, in the old days, you'd walk down the street and there'd be all these like squished cans and, you know, trash on the side of the road. We don't have that anymore. And I think
not nearly as much.
And part of that, I think, is due to that. And so, I think, yeah, the plastic bags, charging for them, that would be fine, and also paper bags, both at the Davis level and the statewide level. I would be opposed to an outright ban on plastic bags, though. Having a 3-year-old and having been a former pet owner, there are times when a plastic bag really does fit the bill.
It's a very useful tool. There is some work being done in biochemistry. I just finally got a new pair of tennis shoes yesterday at Fleet Feet, and the bag specifically says that it includes chemicals in it that encourage the decomposition of the bag. So there are other directions that we can go in terms of innovative technology.